So if we were to look at the downsides of having non-projects or pieces of work in a portfolio, what would you say the downsides to the business would be?
Well, there are several. I mean, on the one hand, as I say, there's no problem just applying a project management mindset to a piece of work. That's fine, and I'd encourage that all day long. But on the, as I say, one of the major downsides is that it takes up resource that might be better deployed elsewhere, and that works in two ways. One, you could be using project management resource to deliver a project that isn't really a project, and that's stopping those PMs being used on other projects that might be a better use of their time, a more profitable use of their time. But also, it's denying others in the business the opportunity to lead a piece of work that is just a piece of work rather than a project. So quite often these things are large pieces of work that are quite interesting and might actually serve someone really well to take ownership of. Perhaps a younger or less experienced person within the organization could take that on as a development piece.
Yeah.
So they're not getting that opportunity because it's been thrown over to the PM's team to go and do it. The other thing to bear in mind is that if you're running a team of project managers, PMs have gone away and qualified, and there's a market rate that you pay for a PM, and that market rate goes up the more experienced they are. So that's quite a costly resource to lead something that isn't a project, and you've got a PM with this whole broad range of skill sets, so stakeholder management, risk management, time, cost and quality balancing and all that sort of thing, that's not being made best use of. And it's a costly person to put on a thing that might be more effectively delivered by someone else who isn't perhaps quite such an expensive resource as a PM. So there's a cost benefit to an organisation of making sure large pieces of work are resourced properly.
And I presume that cost also expands out into the business analysts and the PMO support and the project support that were working on that non-project.
Well, absolutely, because of course, as soon as you put that project wrapper around it, there will be an overhead associated with that. And particularly in larger organizations, there's going to be a PMO typically involved. So the project management office pulling together information about all the projects on the portfolio. There will be, as you say, business analysts. There'll be people from the operational team who are pulled in to do various things when actually they could just be running it within their own team as part of their day-to-day business. So there's all these other resources that might be pulled, even just to support the structure of a project, when actually that's not necessary. What you need is a project management mindset rather than a project. And I think that's a really important distinction.